Welcome to Sound Bath Sundays. Woo! All right, let me fix this camera as usual. Okay, come here, brother. Come here. Come here. Just take it easy. Take it easy. Come here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's been a week that has been long for me. But so here we go. Let's just go straight into the story because I don't know how long I'm going to last here on air. I have this tiny little puppy running around my house, a little bit crazy. She's a, what's it called? Australian Shepherd dog with a poodle. So she's called an Aussie Doodle. And I've named her a Wackadoodle. So, yeah. Hola, Mari. Yeah, it's been interesting. So let's get straight into what's going on because it is relevant to what's happening in the world right now. As we all know and we have experienced, there has been a lot of fear happening. And it's understandable. We're facing times that we've never, ever, ever faced before. And we're having to adjust and adapt. And our bodies, which are incredibly intelligent machines, keep adjusting and adapting to keep us safe. And because of that, we may somehow, sometimes hang on to beliefs and ideas that were imprinted at some point in our lives, usually when we're little, and we hold on to them a lot. So, because that's the idea the body and the brain has of keeping us safe. Sometimes keeping us safe for the body not necessarily means the best thing for us because we might be really uncomfortable. We might be really in not the concepts or ideas or the limitations that our body places on us or get reflected in our thoughts might not be serving us anymore. It might have served us at some time. It might have never served us. It might just be an idea. I don't remember who it was. I think maybe Oscar Wilde, I can't remember, and I'm paraphrasing, said something like, I worried, my entire life I worried about things that never happened, right? We're always worrying about, at least in my experience, I worry a lot about stuff that never even happens. And I have a tendency in me to worry about stuff, about people, about the people that I love, people that I care about. I'm continuously concerned and worried about them. Are they going to be okay? And it's interesting because none of it is in my control, really. Yet I have a tendency, I don't know if you guys have, hi Inez, have experienced being worried about someone and they're perfectly fine and you're just there worrying and wasting your time for nothing. I happen to do that a lot. And so I've had to retrain myself and retrain myself and retrain myself and retrain myself because sometimes my default is so imprinted that I'll go without worrying and I'll release, I'll surrender, I hand it over to God, I do all of my work, and yet something happens and my natural default is still going back to that pattern. We have neural pathways that we've created in our brain that go from our body to our mind, and or from our body to our second mind, which is in our enteric system, right? That stomach area, that second brain. And I just recently found out that we have 5 brains. I'm going to learn much more about that and come back and report back. But that second brain usually directs the when it wants to send a signal to the brain fast, it will default. And if you can just imagine that our usual habits and our usual thoughts and our usual patterns that were imprinted when we were young have we've practiced them so much that it creates the pathways keep getting wider and wider and wider, like a super highway. And the new habits and the new patterns we were creating, we're working at them, and we had to find the way. We had to chop down the weeds, we had to flatten out the dirt, and then we might have put some gravel, and then we might like little rocks or something, make it a bigger path, and eventually it gets paved, but then it's just a narrow road, and then it will become a super highway eventually, right, with use. And simultaneously, as we stop using those other pathways, they'll start growing weeds and they'll start eventually disappearing. However, when we're still creating the new pathways, because we were working on this tiny little pathway, if the body wants to send a signal fast, well, which way are you going to go if you're going to go on a road trip and you want to get there fast? Are you going to go the back roads, or are you going to go the super highway? So the brain defaults to that because it goes back to let me do it quickly. Let me just go to the default, which is that super duper highway. Now, this story is relevant because of what is going on right now with the fear and something I experienced last week. So I had decided to get a dog, and then this dog, Violet, showed up in my life, and I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get this dog because she happened to be in Kentucky. And I was like, okay, well, let's see if somebody can just transport her. And I went looking at the transport that my friend from the rescue had recommended, and the first headline I see online is that name of that company, Accident. So I thought, well, let me check that out. And it turns out that just, a few, like 10 days, 2 weeks ago. So last week it had just happened a few days before. They were transporting dogs, and the AC didn't work in one area, and they ended up having 10 dogs die of heat stroke. And it was really tragic. And in that moment, I thought, well, tick that one off my list, because that's not going to happen. I'm not going to transport this dog. Fine. So then I called the airlines, and I'm getting up all my ticket. I find the perfect flights. I leave in the morning, come back at night, everything's fine. And something tells me to just call the airline and find out what the process is with the dogs, because something was just like, I don't know, something told me to do that. So I called them up, and it turns out that for some reason now they've decided that dogs cannot travel until they're 4 months old. And they're not putting them underneath, which is something that I just would not do. I'm not comfortable with that. I've worked with airlines in the past, and I just don't. It's not something that I can deal with. It'll break my nerves, basically. So sometimes nothing will happen, but I cannot. I'm not of that disposition. So I said, well, okay. They're not even taking dogs anyway, so what am I supposed to do? So I thought, okay, let me drive there and back. And then I thought, that is crazy. I don't want to do that. I ended up flying there and driving back. But here's the story of the whole thing. The crux of the fear is that I have been for 3 years saying and thinking and pondering on, oh my gosh, I want to just sell everything. I want to sell my house. I want to just buy an RV and go traveling. And so I started thinking this in 2017. And then I thought, oh my gosh, no, I can't do this to my parents. They'd be so worried because they worry too. And like, I can't do this to my parents. It's like, they'd be worried all the time. Oh my gosh. And I can't do this. So when I had an opportunity to do it, I just did not do it. And I ended up moving to Philly. But I've been here, and the entire time I've been here, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to sell this house because I just want to leave. I would like to get an RV and go traveling around. Fast forward to now, last week, I'm like, okay, let me go on this trip and drive back. And as I thought I'm going to drive back, I was like, I started getting so much fear. I have something where if I get lost, even in Philadelphia, anywhere, if I feel that I am lost, and just as this moment, at this precise moment that I'm saying it, the light went off, and I know where that fear came from. But that's going to be for another day. But I literally, the light bulb just went off in my head because I used to have this fear. And anyway, this fear was triggered in 2007. 2007. Oh my God. I understand where it comes from. And now I can get rid of it. Because have you noticed how many things from the past keep showing up so that we can release them? It's been amazing. Anyway, I digress. So if I feel like I'm lost in the past, because now I just cleared it, but in the past, if I ever felt like I was lost, I would literally go into a full-blown panic. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. And what's going to happen? I'd go into fear. It would be terrible, terrible anxiety, uncontrollable. I mean, if I had any chance of having a situation where I felt I would be lost, I carry Rescue Remedy jelly things so that I could just take that and just take the edge off, because I get so much of panic. Now I'm working on that with my Healy. But so I thought, okay, well, this is funny and this is interesting. I've been saying for 3 years that I want to go on this camper or RV or whatever and go traveling all over the place because I love road trips. And now I'm in panic that I'm going to go to a state that I've never been and I might get lost. And I'm like, so how on earth am I going to go RVing if I can't even go to pick up this dog and drive back? And I thought, oh, well, that is interesting. So I've been thinking for 3 years of doing something that maybe I don't really want to do, or do I? So I thought I would make this my own social experiment. And that experiment was, well, why don't you just go and try this out? Let me see this dog. I might have to run it. Violet, come here. Come here. Bring your toy. Violet, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Bring your toy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Good girl. So let me do this experiment and find out if I'm going to be so scared. What if I hate it and I've been wasting 3 years thinking I'm going to do this RVing or whatever, road tripping? And I thought, well, maybe I'm going to hate it. Well, let me do this. And if I don't like it, then I'll just shut up about it and be happy in my house, and all is going to be well, and stop wasting your time dreaming about something that's just not it's just not necessary to go through all this suffering, right? If I'm going to be all scared and stuff, why would I want to do it? Not, it's pointless, right? So I end up going, and the night before I was still scared, but once I got there, I got to the airport, I went to rent my car, I did stuff that I've done 1,000 times, right? I rented my car, I got in my car, I asked for a map just in case the GPS didn't work. I figured at least I'll have a map. I know I can read a map. And in the moment I started on the path, no, well, I'm not going to let you go when you're going to do crazy stuff. Come here. In that moment, the fear went away completely. And oh my gosh, I was going to do this in 3 days, but one of my friends was like, she's an incredible astrologer, and she told me, please don't be on the road on Saturday. Whatever you want, but just don't. It's like, I don't want to hear that you're on the road on Saturday. She never tells me what to do or what not to do unless I ask. And this time I had not asked, and she told me, please don't do it. So I did a marathonic thing. I did it in 2 days. The last 4 hours, I'm gonna not lie, it was not fun, but I knew I was doing it for a reason. If I'd done this the way I'd planned, which would have been 3 days, it would have been absolutely perfect. And even like this, it was close to perfect. I am in love with Kentucky. The fields, the wheat fields, the cornfields, the green fields with horses. Oh my gosh, it was such an incredible thing. I was not on the phone. I had told my friends, okay, call me in case, I feel tired, or keep me company. What if I get scared? First of all, I wasn't scared. Thank you for drinking my water. Let me show my people here on YouTube. Thank you for drinking my water from my glass. Well, too late now. So I did not get on the phone. I did not try to take pictures. I was thinking I was going to do lives. I was going to, share with everybody and just keep like a journal and tell everybody step by step everything that was happening. And as I was going through this experience, I just could not and did not see myself doing this, because it would take me away from the moment. It would have, hi, Julia. Your internet is down. Oh, say hi. Thank you. Say hi, Violet. Say hi to everybody. Hi, everyone. Hi. So I just took it all in. At one point, there was a how do you call it? Arcoiris, a rainbow. I've never, ever seen a rainbow that thick. Every color, every bar of color was the width of no, I don't think so. The width of a normal, or the rainbows I'd always seen, right? You see the rainbow and you see a, relatively thin strip going across. This thing was freaking massive. Every color was the width of a single rainbow. And so you had 7 colors and they were so defined. And it went across the sky and it was this huge mass coming out of colors. And this puppy behaved so well. I had the instinct to buy a hammock thing where you put it in the back seats, and so they can't fall on the feet part. She had such a, leave it. Leave it. Thank you. No. um, she just went in the back and played with her toys and napped. And we stopped every hour, hour and a half, or 2 hours. Sometimes she would sleep even for 2 hours straight. We'd stop, I'd walk her, have her, take a break. And it was just magical. And I was not afraid. I was not, it was just lovely. Ohio, oh my gosh, Ohio, Cincinnati, I drove through the city. It was so beautiful. I came in the afternoon and the light on the bridges was just absolutely phenomenal. Tiny city, the bridges, the buildings so modern, beautiful architecture, and it was just like stunning. And then also at one point I was driving and there was the side of the road was filled with wildflowers. I don't think any landscape, like the top landscape designer in the world, could not have leave it, designed something as beautiful as this side of the road, the colors. Then, as I went into Pennsylvania, you could see the fall, the leaves changing, but it's right at the beginning where there's a lot of green, and then you start seeing the spots of orange and burgundy and all the different colors, but it was interspersed with the green, and it was not full blown fall, but it was just enough to give it a depth and an incredible. Leave it. No. Here. Good girl. Good girl. An incredible replenishing of energy. I was so absolutely happy doing this traveling, and I realized I love road tripping. I love driving and seeing the sceneries. I was bummed that I couldn't stop. I was on the Bourbon Trail at one point. Had no idea, but it happened. I see the sign. I'm like, you're on the Bourbon Trail. And I'm like, I don't even drink bourbon. But I thought, oh my gosh, can you imagine stopping and finding out and learning more about this? And it was just phenomenal. And I'm like, I'm going to do a trip to Kentucky and spend more time here because this was amazing. And it just made me realize that I want to. Did you pee here? Pray not. It was water. So today we're going to do a sound bath. Come here. What are you eating? Please spit it out. Come here. A sound bath to neutralize the effects of fear, because fear has been very, very present in all of our lives, and it leaves a mark. And when we allow this fear to become a superhighway in our body, and our habit takes us back to going into fear every time, it starts to create problems for us, brings disease, brings unwellness. And it has been present for all of us. So we really have to make an effort to release all that and to focus on the new neural pathways that we want to create, the new habits. That is why I know it was so evident to me why I was led to doing this course, Coming Home to You, because I was planning on doing my other thing called The Warrior in You, and I was ready to launch when this whole jail time for us started. And something told me, no, share what you do, share your process. And I'm like, well, yeah, but that's my process to get myself out of, panic and bring myself back to center. And I was told, exactly, that's what you're all going to need to know how to get back to center. You must share this. And I am so grateful that I listened, because I know that this has been an amazing journey. I have two ladies that have been with me the entire time. They're on their fourth iteration of this course. So it speaks to the fact that it works. And so if you're interested in learning more about this, in going on this journey with us, we literally have only done two or 3 days, 3 days, because of this trip we had to postpone. So we're just going to pick it up tomorrow as we go along. And we're very flexible. Every time there's something, it's like, oh, an anniversary, let's move it over. Oh, somebody's birthday, let's move it over. So we've been doing it like that, and it's just working out so magically. So if you're interested in joining, there's still time. And if the money is an issue, send me a DM. We can always work it out. Yes, Sarah, you're one of them. Sarah has been with me from the get-go, and I could not be happier. The growth, the magic that has come out of this has been just almost if I didn't know that it worked so much, if I didn't believe in it so much, I would think it was a fluke. But I don't think doing it 4 times and it working every time could really be a fluke. So let's get going with Harry. And she just comes here with whatever she stole. Thank you for that, but no. And yesterday she would not calm down. The only thing that helped her, I don't know, I figured, let me just play Harry, see what happens. She curled up like this right behind me and fell asleep. And don't pull my shirt, thank you. So place your feet flat on the floor, wiggle your toes. Place your hands, palms facing up on your thighs. And let's all breathe. Let's take 6 cleansing breaths today. Inhale through our nose. Hold for 1 or 2 counts, whatever seems natural and organic, and then let it all go through your mouth. Feel how good that feels in your body, and if you haven't already, go ahead and close your eyes. Yes. Come here, Violet. This is 528 hertz that Harry is tuned to. It literally goes into your DNA and readjusts it, retunes it to its natural homeostatic state, which means it brings you back into balance. So allow the sound to wash over you and cleanse and get rid of any residues of fear that may have been that could be lodged into your joints. It's a place where fear gets really stuck. Reason for arthritis, I can't speak today, arthritis or illnesses that have to do with the joints and the connective tissue. So intentionally let go of any energetic imprint that may be holding you back or affecting your joints or your back or wherever you're feeling pain, wherever you're feeling stuckness. She's sleeping right here. So I'm getting guided to do a little bit of talking here. Allow yourself to connect to your liver. Just intentionally say, I'm connecting to my liver. It's not efforting. It's an intention, just a decision. I'm connecting to my liver. Simple as that. Allow your liver to come into harmony. The liver does not have the same frequency as this 528, but allow it to come into a harmonious interaction with it. So when the liver is functioning optimally, perfect harmony with this frequency. So anything that you have stuck in your liver, any irritation, anger, frustration, envy, resentment, jealousy, anything of the sort that creates a lot of bile to be released into our bloodstream. Let's just release it from our body. Let our liver begin to heal, regenerate itself. Now connect to your kidneys and do the same thing. Kidneys, I release all the discomfort, disharmony, dis-ease. Now go to the stomach. Let's all release all the fear from our body. Have you noticed how the fear is so much bigger before things actually happen? And when they happen, you just face them and you just get on with it. So let's release the fear and allow ourselves to get on with it. Now allow the same thing for your heart and your lungs. Your little heart that works so hard for us. If there's any tension still around your stomach area, around your heart, around your throat, or inside your head, let it all go. Connect to that peace, connect to that stillness. Take a deep cleansing breath. And when you're ready, wiggle your toes. And bring yourself back gently, slowly, lovingly. Do a little shake, do a little stretch. And open your eyes. All right. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you so much. Yeah, when we allow the fear to leave our joints, we start feeling even more flexible. You know, when I'm being stubborn or inflexible, or I even feel the joints in my fingers, I feel like, oh, I'm not as mobile. But when I start to flow with life better and allow things to happen and just find the gift in all that happens, including all the stuff that doesn't seem. So you're welcome, Ines. Including all the things that seem not good in our lives. There's always, always, always a gift in everything. So let's go find our gifts this week, or our gifts, because there's always many. And I hope you have an amazing, wonderful week. Violet, completely. She's right there. I don't know if you can see her. Right there. Completely passed out. I've discovered that is my trick to calm her down. So yesterday I had the most magnificent experience with her because she was nuts. It's like, okay, this is not gonna work out. And she was just like boom, boom, boom. But on a rampage and very nippy and destroying things. And I'm like, no, this is not gonna work out. And I thought, okay, well, yelling at her is not gonna help. And what can I do? And first of all, I have the Healy here and I have Harry here. And I thought, well, what can I do? I looked over at Harry and I'm like, let's just play, see what happens. She stopped and was like, what is that? Eventually slowed down, came back, came up to the sofa, asked me to put her on the sofa, curled up around my back, and did this, exactly what she's doing right now, which was a testament. I was like, what I do works. It does work. And then this morning, I ran the Healy on her, and it said she needed adjustment to the environment. The Healy again astounding, leaving me astounded. And I ran it for a minute and a few seconds because for doggies, there's no resistance. And she literally, from being obnoxious, was asleep within 2 minutes of having run the healing on her. So I I'm just so blessed. I cannot be more grateful and happier that I have these tools, because they're really allowing me to live a much higher caliber of a life. It really has up-leveled me in ways that I cannot describe. And that's why I keep talking about it, because I want you all to have this. I want you all to have this magic in your lives. So I hope that you will join me in one of our journeys. And if it's in the cards for us, I'm so excited to have you and welcome you. And if you have enough of me with being here every Sunday, like a lot of you are, then I am so happy. I know that some days like today, I get guided to just give you guys a little bit more of what I do during my journeys and in my courses and my programs, because the times so require it. It is a time to be connected with our God self. If there was ever a time to do that, it is now. There's no better time. If you haven't done it in the past and it's new for you, you're not late to the party. Everything happens in divine order and time. And it's like I say, it's the Hotel California. You can check in anytime you like, but you will never leave, because once you know this path, there's no way you ever want to go back. Even in the times where there's adjustments and resistance to the change and resistance to a new way of thinking and paradigm shifts, but a lot of the times they're just so magical. And the incredible thing that is happening now for me, that I'm just so in awe of seeing, is that the energies that are coming into the planet are so supportive of us having this change and these upgrades without so much pain or resistance. There's no need for struggle. There's no need to go through the grind and the hustle and put ourselves through the grinder like we do. And the more we love ourselves, the more we treat ourselves nicely, the more we treat ourselves just as we treat others, the more the change happens, and it's just effortless. And we begin to literally turn that canoe around and go, wee, and we start really enjoying the ride. It can be magic. It is available for each and every one of us. And I love you, and I hope, and it's my intention that your life is as magical or more than mine ever will, because this is an incredible ride. And for the first time in many, I think my entire life, for the first time, I feel like, oh, this is why I'm here. This is when I'm here, and I like it. So thank you for being on this journey with me. Thank you for being here. If this was the first time you being here on Sound Bath Sundays, we meet here on Facebook and here on YouTube every Sunday at noon at Vocal Tapestry. And welcome. I'd love to see you here again. I will see you next week.